Well, Chit Chat Kit Kats, let's talk a little bit about the weirdness of Lyme disease. Now, as you know, well, I'm getting tested, but I know 100% it's Lyme disease because I also have the Morgellons, which is, that looks like fibers under your skin that are growing. That's why it feels like you've got things crawling and people think they've got a parasite of some sort. But, and it's no joke. I could show you pictures of what it shows. But the weird thing about it is it moves. You get different things. Every time you turn around, it's something different. Now, thank God today I don't have any brain fog. A few days ago, it just felt like your head is full of cotton. You can't think, you can't process. You just, I'm feeling on tilt. I don't have any of that at all today. I got up this morning and my hip was in so much pain I could barely walk. The hip and the sciatica nerve were just in absolute pain this morning. Now, I just finished eating. I got up and went and walked in the kitchen and nothing, okay? Pain's gone. And this morning, I could barely walk, okay? So that's the way this thing works. I mean, from minute to minute, you don't know what's going to happen with it. It's just craziness, so I'm still taking all the supplements. I do feel it, again, still in my back. If I touch by my spine, on my back, it's very painful. Just to touch there is very painful, very tender. So, again, with this, you just don't know what's happening with it. Now, I did get the book here, How Can I Get Better? Action for Treating Resistant Lyme and Chronic Disease by Richard Horowitz. Okay. You can see different talks given by him. And this has got everything, Lyme in the brain, and it does also talk about Morgellons in here. Okay. That it is usually with Morgellons, it's the same one as Lyme disease. It's just attacking your skin, and the skin is the largest organ in the body. So, yeah, that's what happens. So you get it, and one day you got the stiff neck, which I had a few years ago. I could not bend my head down to wash my hair because it would stick I couldn't move my head. I go, really, that's the craziness of it. And then, like I said, when I had shingles, when the shingles left, that's where it attacked. It went into the same nerve pathways that the shingles was in, okay? Going up into the brain, up, down, and I still have some lesions you can feel here going down in my neck, down into my shoulder, and it was going up here by the ear. I still have it there. I still feel it. And I have the swollen lymph nodes on both sides. I just called today. I have an appointment. I have to go in for July the 14th. And if I still have swollen lymph nodes, they're going to look at, and I do. I have swollen lymph nodes on both sides. Okay, under here, both sides of my neck going down. The swollen lymph nodes, and the spirochetes will hide out in the lymph nodes as well. Okay, that's another thing. So just all the craziness that happens with it. It can attack any place in your body. Some people get like a rheumatoid arthritis. It can look like MS. It can look like ALS. It can, so many things. One girl had it and she would go blind. One day she'd be blind, and the next day, mimicking MS, the same thing that happens with MS. One day you can walk, the next day you can't. One day you're blind, the next day you can see again. So, it just continues to migrate. So that's what's so weird. But like I said, today I woke up and just was in so much pain in the hip and could barely walk. And then just a few seconds ago, got up, no pain at all. Totally gone. So, it's just really crazy. So anyway, I'm going to read this book, How Can I Get Better? This guy is really, really knowledgeable on Lyme. And it talks about all the various things that go with the Lyme. It's not just that you get Lyme. It's that it carries a lot of other organisms and things that you get along with it. So it's got other medical conditions that get seen like Lyme, and it's inflammatory bowel, chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia, chronic inflammation, food allergies, hormone imbalance, cognitive and neurological difficulties. Now, I've heard one that says you get a meat allergy. You can get a meat allergy is one of the weirder things that can happen with it. That people that have that, can't imagine that, having a meat allergy, anything that has to do with mammals. If there's a skincare product that has lanolin or something in it, they'll be allergic to it. Anything, okay? They can't use lard. They can't use any kind of animal products at all, or they will have a major allergy. Crazy, isn't it? So, I'm starting to look at this, and it's a huge book. I have another one of his books coming too. But he's a really big authority on this. I'm glad now I don't have, there's tick paralysis too. It says it can be caused by 400 different tick species, okay, including the same ticks that transmit Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and occasionally the Lone Star tick or the Eastern black leg tick and the Western black leg tick, okay? So it can cause paralysis. It's talking about all the different rashes you get, just all the different infections, Bartonella, it's just endless. It says ticks can carry more than Lyme, the associated bacterial infections. And that's usually what's happening with it. It's not just Lyme. You get a number of different co-infections at the same time, such as the Morgellons, what's going on with me. It's definitely not something fun to have to deal with. So that's why I'm taking so many of the supplements and things that I'm taking to deal with it. And it does seem to be making some difference. But like I said, we'll see. This is kind of a new regime, and so it's going to take a while to see what it's actually doing, how it's going to work. But I'm going to keep working on it. I don't know how many of you out there have Lyme. I think at least one person watching this is dealing with it too. And yeah. And like I said, there have been people that thought they had ALS, thought they had, dealing with fibromyalgia, dealing with so many of these other things, MS, and they got they tested them and found out they have Lyme disease. Okay. So anyway, continuing on this journey, but I just wanted to say how weird it is. Like I said, the other day, I was just having that, just feeling off center, couldn't process, can't read, can't hardly think, dizzy, just feeling lightheaded, like you're going to pass out at any second, and then that left. And then it's replaced by extreme hip pain and the sciatica nerve, and then that can leave. And then you've got the stiff neck. You can't turn your head. It's like the never-ending drama. What next? So can you imagine you go to your doctor, and if you were somebody that was telling him all the things that are going on, he would think you're a major hypochondriac, that you're imagining these things, because one day you're calling about hip pain, the next day you're calling about you can't, so they'd be looking at you like you've got a screw loose. Just like they tell you don't ever mention anything about Morgellons, because they'll tell you need psychiatric care. But imagining something like this does not make these fibrous masses appear, okay? It doesn't. You can't imagine those. They're very real, and what they found out they are is an overgrowth of collagen and keratin, and they've tried to burn these things. I think they said something like 1,500 degrees or 1,700 degrees, and they don't burn. Okay. And it's very weird. Sometimes they look like almost metallic. Now, I haven't tried this, but they will say that some of these ones, they will glow in the dark if you get a black light. Okay. It's weird. But I can tell you, it does feel, I can understand why they think that they've got some sort of a mite or something, infestation, something like that, because it does feel, it can sting. Stinging, it feels like 100 bees stinging you, or fire ants. That's why every night I take an Epsom salt bath. And I could show you the things that come out of that, little masses of tangled web of these things. Okay, so every night I take that, and also do the, sometimes I do the hydrogen peroxide, which helps with some of that. But yeah, it's just... can be very debilitating too. Get insomnia, difficulty sleeping because it becomes more active at night. Okay? And yeah. So what are you going to do? You don't stop life, because if that's your whole focus, I mean, I could see why people have committed suicide over this, because especially the Morgellons, because they tell you you're imagining it or you're doing it for attention and you're implanting those. Well, nobody implants things under their skin, okay? And it's amazing that all the ones come up with the same colored growth, fibrous looking things, okay? Now, I couldn't believe it when I saw it. I had gotten a microscope, and I was looking at things like sugar crystals, salt crystals, all these different things. What does a hair look like? You know, looking at all these things, and then I decided, oh, I'm going to look at one of these scabs, you know, that from these things that, you know, are not healing. And I looked, and sure enough, those things, you can see those fibrous things. And they're either kind of like a blue, they say red, but they look more like a magenta type color. Or the clear. Now the clear ones always look like they've got some sort of a sticky substance on it. I think it's biofilm. I think the clear ones are like a biofilm filament thing. And the ones that are the darker color, like kind of like a black color, they're more, sometimes you look at it and they're kind of more flat looking, kind of flat. Very odd. Very odd. But what they said it is an overgrowth of collagen and keratin. Okay? That from a infection, and that's what happens with it. Just odd things. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted to talk about it. It is so weird that 1 second you can have one thing, and then the next second it's something else. So you never know from minute to minute what's coming up with this. It's like the Pandora's box, you know. You open it up, and what are you getting today? What are you dealing with today? Thank God all of them don't come at one time. I don't know what I'd do. If I had the spine pain, the hip, the sciatica, the you know, not being able to walk, the dizziness, I can't imagine what it would be like with all of them, and neither do I want to either. One of them is enough to deal with at a time. Oh my goodness. Oh, I was going to tell you, Mr. Max, I went to pick him up, and he's all beautiful again. Come here, y'all handsome again. Look there, handsome Mr. Max. He says, I look all spiffy again. Oh, and not to be undone, here comes the May. She's so jealous. If you give Max 1 second of attention, she's got to have it too. But the groomer is so funny. She goes, yeah. I finished grooming the dogs, and Mr. Max is sitting there and looking at me, and so pick him up and hold him. And she goes, he's so good. But she goes, but every time you go lean down to do something, to work on him, he gives you kisses. And I said, well, that's Max. He's a kisser. She said, yeah. She says, when I'm done with him, I'll hold him and let him just give me kisses. He says, because, you know, because that's what he does. He's a kisser. And she just every time raves about Mr. Max. She just loves him. If I ever had a reason that I couldn't keep Mr. Max, she would take him in a heartbeat. So, yeah, Mr. Max's fan club over there. So anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave this here and take my salmon oil pills today. I didn't take those yet, so I'm going to get those down. And Missy May, yes, I know, nose kiss. I know, loving. I'm telling you, cresteds, Chinese cresteds are the... Look at this, grabbing my hand and saying, you got to pet me. They are the biggest lap dogs in the world. I don't think I've ever met a crested that wasn't a huge lap dog. And especially Maida May. Isn't that right, Maida May? Yeah. Yeah. She is so unusual. Her and her nose kisses. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. But the day I got her, I'm telling you, she was so upset when I got her. I got her from a Russian family that was going back to Russia. Wonder how they're liking Russia at the moment, you know. But she was howling when I had her in there. She was scared. She was just like, I don't want to go. And she's howling for 2 hours straight. It was the most pitiful thing you'd ever hear in your life, wasn't it, Missy Mimi? She says, I'm embarrassed now because took her 2 hours to find out that she was safe and she was going to be okay. But after that, that was the end of that. She's never ever done that again. But she had been abused there because the minute I picked up a broom to sweep, she went and cowered and hid. So, yeah, that was not a good thing. Not a good thing, but she's a happy girl now. Yeah, she's a good girl. So on that note, I'm going to leave this here. And how's your day treating you? Oh my goodness. I'm thinking about taking off in the van. Like I said, just trying to figure out where to go. Yeah, haven't decided yet, but I may just get a wild hair and decide to take off in the morning. Don't know, but if I do, anyway, taking the cards with me, and I'll continue to do the readings and stay in touch as much as I can on the way. I always try to get in a place where I've got cell service. Once in a while, like if you're out at City of Rocks or something like that, I've been in places.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
My watch is talking. No, Siri, I'm not talking to you. So once in a while you get in a place where you've got no service at all. And so if that happens, just know if I'm on the road and I'm not connecting, you know I've got no service. So anyway, I'll leave that here and I'll see you online.